Good morning, happy Sunday. This is Will with Travel with That Guy, and we are sitting at the cruise terminal. It is 8:38. Our COVID test appointment is at 9, and I'll kind of try to walk through that one with you guys. And then we are going to get shuttled over to the cruise, assuming everything comes back negative. We'll go check in, and then we'll kind of hang out until it's time to board the ship. So that's the current plan, and I will keep you guys posted on how things are working, and we'll go with that. So we'll see in a bit. So we're currently in berth 93, heading up the escalator to go get our COVID test. It's now 8:57, and we're gonna make this happen. It's kind of funny that the entire time, the 21 months or so that this pandemic has been going on, I haven't been COVID tested yet. And with the one we're doing today, it's going to be my second one in 3 days. So, make this happen.
Card out with
So, we took like 15 minutes from the time that we went in to get the COVID test to get it done. So, at 9:18, I was cleared, and then we had to wait for the shuttle. We got down here. It is 10:03. We are currently sitting in the Haven Lounge waiting to go on board. So far, the process has been relatively smooth. We're just waiting for an individual to come by to get us our key cards, and then it's probably when we're going on the ship. So we will keep things rolling. So this is the food spread that they put out for us as we are waiting in the lounge to get on the ship. So I just want to kind of finalize the check-in process. So like I said, we got there at 8:38 to the World Cruise Center terminal in Los Angeles. I had dropped my wife and my son off at the place to drop our bags off and get in line for the COVID testing. Then I went around and parked the car. I was back over there in line by 8:45. There were about 15 to 20 people ahead of us at that point. They did not open the doors until 9 o'clock, and that's what time our reservation was. And I want to make sure that everybody understands that we showed up when our reservation time slot was scheduled to go, and that's key, and I'll talk about that in a second. So at 9 a.m. they opened the doors. We all went in. The process for us was seamless. We went up the escalator, which was part of the video on here, and I stopped at the video at that point. We basically then went through like a zigzag line type of creation, kind of like you would see at a theme park. They checked our passports and our vaccination cards, and then we got into another zigzag line and waited maybe 15 seconds for a window to open up. We walked to the window. They verified that we were on the cruise. I think they verified that we had a reservation, but I'm not sure. Nobody asked to see reservation times or anything, even though we were all required to make reservations when we did our online check-in for the cruise. So they verified everything, that we were supposed to be on the ship, and then we went to another spot and waited about 10 seconds for the person to direct us to what they call a box. So they basically separated an entire floor of one of the berths at the terminal to dedicate to COVID testing. And then there was a little box that you would go into, and each box went with someone separately. So I went in a box, and my son went in a box, and my wife went in a separate box. And the testing process, for me at least, took about 30 seconds. I sat down, I pulled my mask down. They swabbed each nostril of my nose 5 times, put my mask back up. They verified that I was who I said I was, and they wrote the number of my box on the card that they had given me at the start, and then I proceeded to the waiting area. So that was all done by about 9:03, 9:05. At 9:18, I got a text message saying that we had cleared. Our numbers showed up on the board. We got wristbands to show that we had cleared and that we were negative for our COVID tests. And we sat in another area to basically wait for the drivers to show up for the shuttle. So there was a good number of us that were waiting. By about 10 o'clock, 9:45, 10 o'clock, we got on the shuttle and drove back over to the main terminal for Norwegian. We went through security, and security for this is a lot easier than security for a at the airport. You just put your bag on the machine and let it go. You don't have to take anything out. You don't take your shoes off or anything else. It's just like old school security. Go through that, go into the terminal, go back upstairs in that terminal, complete the actual check-in process for the cruise. And since we are Haven, we got to go to a special location to do check-in, complete all that. And then we went to the Haven Lounge, which you saw a picture with the food. And that was at about 10:05 by the time we finally got back there, 10:15-ish. And we sat back there for a good 40 to 45 minutes before they finally let us on the ship. And of course, letting us on the ship, we got on first because we're Haven, but there is that, we have to wait for customs to clear the ship to make sure that everything's good from, the previous cruise. We can let new passengers on for the next cruise. We were on board by about 11:05 after we, did the, embarkation picture. We walk, through, get on the ship. And then there'll be some other videos about that. But by 11 o'clock, 11:05, we were on the ship and ready to go. So I will show more of the cruise in the coming days. Obviously, we're only halfway done. So there'll be lots of video, lots of pictures to share with everyone.